Good evening and welcome to the AfriCanadian Resource Center. Tonight we are coming to you from the Friends of Africa here at CASA Foundation, downtown Toronto. And we're bringing you a post coverage of what took place this afternoon, which a pitch master where young people were, I guess not young people, but entrepreneurs were actually pitching their businesses as a part of the CASA Foundation, an event that took, Friends of Africa event that takes place every year. This year is the 10th anniversary, and before I even go back into like most of the details we have today, I want to speak to the winner of this pitch event that took place. So we have two of them that we are going to speak to right now. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Hello, how are you? Please tell us your name and also give us a bit about your background. And then I'll probably come back and talk to you about your prize and your pitch. What's your name? You can each give us your name.
I can't hear
Can you
you.
guys hear us?
Let's see. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Okay. I think Mimi's microphone's not working
Okay.
at the
Okay.
moment for some
Can you go
reason. But
ahead
I'm
and introduce
Alexand.
yourself? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Alexandra Sproul, and this is Osha Mimi Mayaki, and we are the co-founders of Adobe Media, a company that produces podcasts telling stories that are often not heard because of colonialism or other systemic oppressions. And our first podcast is Money No Get Enemy, and it tells stories from really urgent, amazing stories from West African economic history.
Amazing. So obviously today, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear
Uh,
me?
yes, we
Amazing.
hear you. Please go ahead as well.
Awesome.
Introduce
I'm
yourself.
happy to join you. Let me just introduce myself. My name is Oshamimi Mayaki, or Mimi, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. So tell us about your partner was telling us about what your company is about. How was the experience today doing the pitch?
It's been really amazing for us. This is our first time publicly really speaking about the work that we've been doing. We've been working on this project for about a year, building it out, doing the research, building our network of historians and archaeologists and anthropologists in order to be able to tell these stories and give them the stage that we think that they deserve. So it's very exciting to pitch this in front of an audience that really understood the value of the work that we were doing and the type of impact that we're trying to create.
Amazing. And for me, I'm not a historian, but I love history. If you ask anybody that's around me, I'm like a junkie on history. So to see you only not only just speech, but you won today, that shows you how important, or at least the judges decided that this is an important mark in history where we are interested in businesses that are actually more focused on uncovering history. How does that feel for you both as the founders and operators of the company?
Honestly, I sent Alex a text before this, and I said, I don't know if they will get it, but let's try because I think for us, what was surprising is that it's not that this information isn't out there. They're in books, they're in papers, but so I have to wonder why aren't these stories out in the volume that they could be. For us, it's been a lot of work gathering the data from the different sources, but the stories themselves are so inspiring that it keeps us going. So it's been a wonderful experience. Alex, do you have anything that you'd like to add to that?
It was so exciting to talk about the project and have people understand exactly what we're so excited about, which is how not only how interesting these stories are, but how much they can influence how we see the world today. So Mimi did the pitch and she did an amazing job. And it was.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, go
I
ahead.
just wanted to add one thing about the moment that we're in, and I think one thing that's been pushing us in this process is the fact that we see we continue to have the same conversations around African economic empowerment, around how to ensure that as Africans, our civil rights are respected wherever we are in the world. And I think one thing that's really missing from that conversation is the historical context. Often we would see these kind of idealistic reframings of the African past, which is not the truth. There's nuance to it. And that's really important for us to bring forward. So it's really amazing that people can recognize that the stories are important, and it really re-emphasizes for us that there's a need.
That's amazing. So my question now is, where is, obviously you guys have won a prize, you're able to win this prize, and you're obviously going to go forward. What is the next step? What is your company now going to do? What is the next step looking at maybe the next couple of years?
Maybe I'll start and then let you say.
You know what? Let's go for a commercial and we'll come back with you guys in a second.
A message from the Government of Canada.
All right, so welcome back. So we were just talking to Alex and Mimi about their prize win this afternoon. They were pitching at the FOA 2020. So anyways, we just wanted to go back to them if they're still here and talk to them about a little bit about where they're looking in terms of looking forward. So Mimi and Alex, how are you again?
Hi. Great.
I can't hear them.
So do you want to pick up Mimi? I'm
not sure if you can hear.
Sorry, I can't hear you both. You know what? So let's do this. Maybe if you guys can give us a couple of minutes. I'm not sure if you're still available. We can come back to you in about 10 minutes. If you're not, we really appreciate you joining us. We would like to come back to you in about 10 minutes. But in the meantime, let's figure out what the technical issue is. And yeah, let's go back to another commercial.
A coronavirus is a type of virus that can infect the respiratory tract, meaning the nose, mouth, throat, sinuses, or lungs. There are many types of coronaviruses, and most cause only mild illness, such as the common cold. But some coronaviruses can cause severe illness. The most likely way people can become infected is by droplets that contain the virus. These droplets carry the virus into the air and can enter through the nose, mouth, throat, and lungs of a person who is within 6 feet or 2 meters. The virus infects the lungs, causing the lungs to become inflamed. The alveolar sacs have to be healthy for the body to breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. Infection of the virus causes damage to the cells of the lungs and triggers an inflammatory reaction. Fever may develop. With severe inflammation, inflammatory fluid fills the lungs. This reduces the function of the alveoli, resulting in coughing and difficulty breathing. The oxygen level in the blood may decrease. In some people who become severely ill, other organs may be affected, such as the kidneys or the heart.
All right, so Alex, welcome back. We apologize for the technical difficulties. I was just saying, where is your company going? Where are you looking to go in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so we are releasing, as Mimi's back, we're releasing our first full season of Money No Get Enemy, our first podcast in November. And in the next 2 years, we hope to grow to have 20 different shows on under Adobe Media. Do you want to take it from there, Mimi?
Yes, Alex is exactly right. That's our roadmap for the next few years, is to launch this is to build our product portfolio of audio shows, as well as to start to look into other distribution channels, whether through video and animated videos.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that one of the judges suggested at the pitch competition was that there is a big demand for this at educational institutions who are looking for this type of content to support their curriculum. So that's something we're definitely going to be following up on as well.
Amazing. I didn't want to let you all go, or we have a few people to talk to from the event. I just wanted to, where can people find you so they can actually follow up on the work that you're doing?
Sure.
You can check out the first 3 pilot episodes of the podcast Money No Get Enemy on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. And you can find our website, adobamedia.com, or find us on Twitter at adobamedia. We'd love to connect.
Adoba, O-D-O-B-A.
So repeat that again. Adoba is?
O-D-O-B-A.
Thank you so much for the. We're like to see more of the work that that's going to come out of this. Really moving for many people looking at history and looking at some of the startup and the technology that is now required to bring what was thought to be lost back to life. So once again, congratulations, and we hope to see more of your work in the future. Appreciate it, Mimi and Alex.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good one. All right, so we are now going to do an interview. We're actually right here in studio with the chair of the CASA Foundation, which is a non-for-profit here in Toronto. Before I even give you all of that, I would like to ask you himself, the chairman of the CASA himself, tell us your name and what you do.
Okay. My name is Olushola Oyelade. I'm a designer and architect and the chair of CASA Foundation.
Okay. So Mr. Oyelade, you are doing, this is your 10th anniversary. You have been doing this for 10 years. I remember I was a part of this event about 3 years ago. And since then, I've been trying to follow as much as I can whenever I'm here. How has it been like for you for the last 10 years?
Well, it's been great. Every year it keeps advancing. The love that we have for the young people, for women, and for Africans in diaspora, and the urge that we always think back and say, okay, what can we really do to affect our countries and continents? That's actually what drives us into these engagements with our world here and Africa as a planet. We actually believe very strongly that Africa has got a very strong potential, and but it's not being realized because people are not properly focused, or the narrative about Africa is not really properly understood out here in the West. So we want to bridge that gap. That's the reason why through the foundation, the Friends of Africa platform was created, and Friend of Africa platform has grown into different other platforms.
Yeah.
One of them is what we witnessed tonight, which is the Pitch Masters. We intend to bring to light that the 9 to 5, even though is good, but we need more people to be independent,
yes,
to come up with ideas that can shape the world and eventually shape Africa and bring our potentials out to the world
reality.
to see.
Yeah.
And you have seen and witnessed the remarkable work that these young people are doing, and the businesses that, the ideas that they have. These are really ideas that we need right now, solutions that can actually move the needle.
So obviously, you're talking about the work and involving young people and looking at how to move the African experience and reach our potential. One of the things we've done with our Rwandan Canadian Healing Center is to also try to bridge the gap around the African communities here in Toronto and across Canada. That's why we came up with this AfriCanadian Resource Center. And that's why we also here wanted to be able to cover this event with the CASA Foundation. Looking at the way our communities are run right now, what do you think is the challenge and how do we solve that? How do we work together like other communities? I always use the Jewish community, the Chinese and other communities. How do we get to that level of collaboration as a community?
Yeah. Okay. So Canadians, when they think about Africa, it's like a unit. But actually to Africans, it's not a unit. You have different kinds of segmentations within the African community. I think the first thing is to forge unity amongst the African community, to know that we are all and the same. And in a democracy, number is key. You know, when people come together as a force, they are more taken seriously than when Rwandans come and say Association of Rwandans, Association of Nigerians, Association of this. I think the first thing that we need to do is to find a way to bridge this gap and forge unity amongst the Africans. Once that is done, then we have a unified voice to present to the community out here in Canada. Then we can start to move the needle. We can start to create programs and processes that the Canadian government can recognize and support us.
Absolutely. I do agree with you, and it's one of the things that, for me, when I became a part of the community, I was looking and I'm like, who do I work with? Who are the allies? And sometimes, of course, they are sometimes, but you don't know where they are. And so for me, the idea was how do we find what's existing already? And that's how I even came to be part of the Friends of Africa. It was looking for those relationships. Maybe my last question, because again, we are running everything quicker right now, is last minute we're doing a post coverage. What are people looking forward to? I know the theme of the event this year was looking at development and the recovery from COVID. What should people look forward to tomorrow? And then, of course, for CASA Foundation for the next year and the years to come, what should people look forward to for your organization?
Well, as you know, the theme for this year is reigniting global trade. If you look at the welcome speech, you see that entrepreneurs, young people actually contribute close to 40 to 45% of the GDP of various nations. In Canada here, they contribute even up to 60% of the GDP. So COVID-19 has actually changed the protocol, the way we look at things. That's why this discussion is very, very, very good at this time, so that Africa will not be left behind. The interaction between nations is very key when it comes to trade. But trade is driven by productivity. So all these issues are issues that will be looked into thoroughly by experts tomorrow. I'm an architect. As you know, I'm in the building industry. And building industry is one of those industries that has legs in almost every area. So, and we can feel it in Canada right now, because most of the building materials that we use are affected actually by global trade. Many stuff that we use in building in Canada that do come from the US, right now we have shortage of them. So this is a very important area that we need to really sit down and discuss and formulate new processes, new ideas moving forward.
We could talk forever. I feel like every point you make, I want to have another question.
Okay.
Obviously, I've been accused of having so many questions, but I just want to thank you for having this platform.
Okay.
I want to thank you for the work you've done. We can all see the influence that you have with the Friends of Africa, and we look forward to it. So we wish you the best tomorrow. I'll be there. I will continue to do the coverage. And lastly, maybe where do people go? Where do people
Yes, so I think that the best thing that you should do is to join the platform on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on we also have Zoom.
The Zoom, YouTube.
The Zoom, yes. So everybody that has registered, I think we've sent them a link, but if you just go on our website, casafoundation.ca, you'll get more information on the links.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let's go to the commercial and we'll come back with more interviews.
We get a lot of questions from people about COVID-19, like, what should I do if I get exposed? How long should I stay home? To answer those questions, let's look at a few examples. This is Sam. Sam was exposed to COVID-19 on April 2nd when he saw his great-aunt Marion. Since we know it takes between 2 to 14 days for someone who is exposed to begin to show new symptoms, Sam should stay home and watch for symptoms for at least 14 days. Common symptoms are cough, difficulty breathing, fever, chills, muscle pain, sore throat, and loss of taste or smell. Some people may also experience nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. On April 16th, 14 days after exposure, Sam still showed no symptoms. This means he can now return to normal activities. Now let's look at another example. Sandra was exposed to COVID-19 on April 3rd. When she found out, she stayed home and watched her symptoms. 7 days later, on April 10th, she started coughing. 2 days later, April 12th, she had a fever. People with COVID-19 who have isolated at home can leave under the following conditions. No fever for at least 72 hours. That's 3 full days of no fever without the use of medicine that reduces fevers. And their other symptoms have improved. For example, when their cough or shortness of breath have improved, and at least 10 days have passed since their symptoms first appeared. To figure out when Sandra can leave isolation, we have to look at when her symptoms went away. Her fever went away on April 18th. 3 days later is April 21st. Her cough and other symptoms went away on April 20th. 10 days after her symptoms started is also April 20th. Of these 3 dates, Sandra has to wait until the latest date to leave isolation. The latest date is April 21st. That's when she can return to normal activities. For more information, visit the Department of Health website at doh.wa.gov/coronavirus.
Welcome back. As I said earlier, we are covering the FOA, Friends of Africa event that happened here earlier today. And we are looking at the 10th anniversary for Friends of Africa and CASA Foundation as an organization. And we wanted to talk to people who are a part of the event. And my next guest is actually a volunteer at the event. And she's also new to Toronto. So, Stefan, tell us, what are you doing in the event? And tell us what you do as in Toronto.
Yeah, so I'm new in Toronto, just moved straight from Halifax, Nova Scotia. And today I was working on the Zoom logistics, so I was on the back end making sure that we're spotlighting people and trying to make things go as smoothly as possible.
Absolutely, and you are a champion because you and I worked on the same the back end as far as the media.
I mean, yeah, I guess, like.
No, it's good. You really learn quickly. So, how did you become involved with Friends of Africa?
Well, like I said, I was pretty new here and didn't have a lot going on because COVID had me not working at all. And then I decided to get involved because my cousin told me about this organization. She was like, hey, you're free. Do you want to volunteer? And I was like, sure. I mean, I'm African. I have free time. I was like, might as well be a part of it. And it's been so far so good. So many new faces. So.
Amazing. And you're coming from Halifax?
Yes.
How, obviously, this is an event where we're trying to bring, there is a lot of Africans, but there's also a lot of international people here. How many Africans? I have this question. I asked you this off camera. I need to ask you this on camera. How many Africans are in Halifax? Because we were really trying to find Africans.
Not enough. That's the answer. Not enough.
Is that a part of the reason why you migrated to Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, I was really drawn to how diverse everything is. It's totally a different world. Like in Halifax, if you see another African at the grocery store, you smile at them because it's like the only one you'll see probably for the rest of the day. So here it's a lot different. There's so many people from different parts of the world, whereas like in Halifax, it's very close-knit. You pretty much know every African that's there.
Wow. and you
long
grew up
enough.
there?
Yeah, born and raised. I'm originally from Uganda, and it's the Ugandan Independence Day today.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Okay.
Happy
Let's talk
Independence
about
Day
it.
to all of Ugandans, you know. There you go. That's good.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Amazing. So, Stefan, tell us, you obviously being involved in an organization, volunteering for an organization like Friends of Africa, CASA Foundation, how important is it for you to volunteer and to be part of a team like CASA Foundation?
I think it's very important now more than ever, because I think even with like the whole Black Lives Matter type things that are going on in the world, it's kind of like all eyes are on us to unify and really move forward and support each other as Africans. And I feel like it's not only like a good thing to do because it's like things that relate to your life, but also that's the only way that we can help ourselves move forward, like, you know, in employment and things like that.
Nice. So we obviously just met you. You're new in Toronto. What is one thing I know you told me you're a YouTuber? Is that something like what is the one thing that people could say, you know, this is what you should know about me?
What you should know about me is I'm pretty much an open book. Like, I'm sure like all of you know me for the first time, and it's like what you see is what you get pretty much. I don't really hold any secrets, and I do make videos in my free time.
Okay, tell people where to find those videos.
Maybe I'll give you like, once I have more under my belt. It's been a while with the whole move, so.
Okay,
we'll
just go and share for you.
Yeah.
You know. Amazing. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, we wanted to cover as many. We're doing a post coverage. Obviously, you've been a part of this organization as well. I've asked the chair of the Friends of Africa Foundation about tomorrow. What are we looking forward to on the tech side of things? What should people be looking forward to?
On the tech side, there's tons of great speakers and tons of great sponsors you can get involved with when you're just there. And yeah, looking forward to connecting with people and possibly some friends. Who knows?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Stefan. We really appreciate you. And for our audience, we really want to make sure that you follow and make sure you catch that event tomorrow. Honestly, I think for of us, whether you're involved in business, non-for-profit, or just simply want to volunteer, there is something for everybody. And I think that's the important thing of bringing everybody together. As the chairman was saying, the unity is something that we are really, we need in our community. And for us as an organization, the Rwandan Canadian Healing Center, with this, the AfriCanadian Resource Center, this is like the best place for us. Anyways, without further ado, we're going to go for one more interview with one of the organizers of the event. to the AfriCanadian Resource Center. As we told you, we are doing a post coverage for Friends of Africa, which is an event that is hosted by CASA Foundation. And we wanted to talk to organizers and the leaders of the organization. And our next guest is Mr. Dino. Tell us more. Obviously, I'm giving you a nickname. What is your name and what did you do during the event?
So my full name is Dinisu Onyenokwe. Everybody calls me Dinisu or Dino. Dino is my nickname. So my role in this event was I was kind of the lead for the startup pitch, the pitch masters session. And yeah, that's pretty much what my role was. So I was the one who kind of organized the flow of the event. I solicited the participants who presented, and I was generally responsible for making sure everything flowed, obviously with the support of the rest of the team. So
yeah. So if you noticed, you are the MC for the event. You did a lot of the work. Obviously, what people see in front when you are talking, but what people don't see is like the back end work we've been doing for the last few weeks. Actually, for me, we connected this week, but I know you've been working on this event for how long have you been working on this event, and how much work went into this?
A lot of work. I mean, I don't remember exactly when we started meeting for the planning meetings, but it's been about at least since about mid-August-ish. We started meeting. I've been involved in this events over the past 2 years, so it wasn't super tough. We kind of just migrated some of the stuff we did over the past few years and just improved it and brought it over into this year. So,
and so, what do you look at this year? Obviously, the lineup, the speakers. How is it different since you've been involved in this event? How is it different from the previous events?
I think this year, obviously with all the historical information from the past, we were able to make some improvements. But before I actually say that, I think the biggest difference was the fact that it was virtual. So normally we have this event, it's part of the whole CASA event, and we usually have it on the day of the event. But this year we had to do it virtually because obviously you understand what's going on. But aside from the fact that it's virtual, we also had a more expansive array of prizes for people. So I find that it was easier to kind of attract people and get them engaged in the process. In the past, we have given prizes every year, but this year we had a lot more sponsors and a lot more partners, so we were able to provide a lot more to the people who presented. So from that perspective, it was a little bit different.
Amazing. So we were just speaking to some of the winners, obviously, earlier today. And we talked to the chair of the organization. We talked to some of the organizers, and we're talking to you. You're more of a lead organizer because not only are you presenting, but you also been part of like putting all of the details together. As an individual who's living in Toronto, what is your view of the African experience as far as, because we're talking about these events being Friends of Africa. How do you think we're doing in accumulating or bringing friends to work with as a community here in Canada?
And do you mean Africans as a whole, or do you mean this
Continental Africans?
Continental Africans, I mean, like Africa is obviously like big and diverse, so everyone is dealing with it in different ways. If you're looking at Canadians out here, I feel, Africans out here in Canada, I feel Africans in the diaspora are able to understand their counterparts a lot more. Because we're able to share some of our experiences, we find ourselves in similar situations, so we connect with each other on a more basic level. So I think out here the experience is a bit different, where we have that Pan-African vision, as opposed to maybe being back home and still kind of having a bit of these sectional tendencies. But overall, I think obviously with the advent of new media like the internet, cell phones, people are becoming a lot more connected to the global audience. And it's moving as you expect. I think the challenge for us is access to information and then also just resources. So I think as the media space develops and as people get more access to the internet, to different types of media, and as more Africans out here gain more wealth and are able to transfer it back to the continent in a less, in a non-committal way, I think that would do a lot to help us open up our doors and let people in, because people are already engaged, everybody's engaging in Africa, but I think the gap is for us Africans, we're not really able to benefit from that engagement. So I think as more resources come in and as more information becomes available, the Africans serving the world, that space would only grow bigger, and as a result, our connection and our interactions with the world would also improve and expand as well.
Yeah, amazing you say that in terms of how we connect, and I'm thinking about the take part of things, right? The issues that are available when we look at, for example, taking advantage of the opportunities that are available in Africa. If you notice, a lot of the opportunities are being taken by outsiders, like people from Europe and America, but mostly it's not Africans who take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And you just pointed to that, and I'm thinking, and I know CASA Foundation is working on this. This is why I love it. How far do you think we have to wait to be able to actually level up and benefit from our own homeland as we work, obviously, to build here in Canada?
I'm speaking to that. You know, there's one big example. I don't know if you guys are basketball fans, but the NBA is expanding into Africa. So as an African who played basketball and who, you know, knows about the space, it's big, you know, like resources are coming in, infrastructure is coming in, but it's not owned by Africans. So even if we're benefiting from it, we're benefiting at
just
a very
to watch
basic
and see.
level.
We're participants. We're not, or we're
We're
guests.
not, we're
not
not owners,
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
But I think, like, I mean, I don't know, like Nigeria, for example, like my parents' generation were, you know, the children of the Civil War. They were, they lived through all the military regimes and everything. So they grew up in a very different, stifled time. I think, like, for example, look at all the pictures today. Look at all the Africans that were there, all the Africans in the diaspora.
Even from,
doing
we had somebody who pitched Kenya directly.
even from Kenya, you know. So obviously, as our generation, because we're the ones who grew up experiencing, at least like in a lot of parts of Africa, we were the ones who grew up experiencing freedom. Because obviously we all know the history of the continent, the decolonization movements from the 60s to about the 90s, then also the conflict. So now we're entering a new age of, I guess, new democracies, and we're basically coming into a space where people have more freedom to act, think, and just do. So I think in the next generation, in our time, I think the growth is going to become a lot more exponential. So I know it seems like we've been waiting for so long, but I think we're finally at a time when our message and the means to spread that message are becoming more available. Look at music, look at entertainment, and that's just a sign of what's to come.
Yeah, we had a guest here a couple of days ago, and I told her, like, we're good at all these artistic things, you know, being in sports, we're good at that. But I think the next level is being on the table, being honors. You know, if you are in politics, being actually leaders in politics, not behind the scene. And I think what you're saying is really promising. And I also think that what CASA Foundation is doing is some of the things that we really need to see here in Canada. What I would like to ask you maybe as a last question is, as an organizer, the same question I asked everybody for earlier today. What should we look for tomorrow?
Tomorrow there's going to be a panel of like good speakers. There's some entrepreneurs who are going to be displaying some of their goods, as well as just engaging and networking with people who are part of the program. So I think it's going to be a rich array of different people from different sectors in the continent, Africans in the diaspora, and then also quote unquote friends of Africa, so non-Africans who are interested and engaged. So I think tomorrow will just be a good opportunity to build on what we had today, where we take on those African stories and kind of highlight to the world and highlight how we're essentially bringing ourselves into this new age and bringing prosperity and development to the continent, for lack of a better term.
All right. You know, as you say, it's your nickname. I don't want to give you, I try to say your name in full because, man, it's, I know we're brothers, but from different areas, so sometimes it's difficult to say the names, you know. But anyways, I really appreciate working with you today and look forward to doing the same tomorrow. And to the audience, the viewers, to the people who want to be part of these events tomorrow, It is on Facebook, it is on YouTube. Simply look up CASA Foundation for Development, I believe, on YouTube, on Facebook. And YouTube is CASA Foundation. It's also on Twitter. And if you don't know where to find it exactly, just go to casafoundation.com and you'll be able to find all the details that you need. In the meantime, we wanted to just do this post coverage because we were here and we wanted to let you know that there is an event, there is an organization that's doing incredible things that is African and that obviously also bringing a lot of friends, and that's what we're trying to do, bring you resources, bring you organizations, individuals, businesses from the continental African Canadians that are doing incredible things, and this was one of those today and of course tomorrow. And we really appreciate CASA for hosting us, for allowing us to be able to actually cover this event. And we continue to do these coverages, obviously, you know, from 6 to 7 p.m. Monday to Friday. We will see you again on Tuesday. In the meantime, have a lovely Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time. Stay safe. Wash your hands. I couldn't say go visit your loved ones because we've been, from what I've understood, looking at the news yesterday. We didn't get a chance to do news today, but we know for sure we're being asked to stay in as little numbers as possible. So let's try to stay safe and stay home. See you next week.